everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So today we are back with another dye with me on a Tuesday. I'm happy to be back on schedule and dyeing yarn. So I'm gonna run through a few things. So I have kind of some announcements I want to make first and foremost. And then I'll give you a little introduction of what we're gonna be doing in today's vlog. And then we'll dye yarn, of course, and then stick around because I always go through the skeins, kind of give you my thoughts on them at the end and show you what they look like. And then because it's the last dye with me for this month, I'm going to show you guys who are in the Dye With Me Club, or for everyone, just a recap of what we have available to those in the club. So if you aren't in the club, I will be introducing what it is in a few minutes, but I'm going to go through some of these announcements first. So there's a lot going on at A Girl and Her Wool, and I wanted to make sure you guys have all the info in case you only follow me here and not on Instagram or anywhere else. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. I will say I do recommend watching this Friday's vlog. It's going to be a weekend in the life. And I show you guys a lot of behind the scenes of these announcements, so you'll get a little bit more details there. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on that video. And make sure you kind of check in with it as well. So, the first announcement that I want to make is that this Sunday, whatever that date is, the 25th probably. So this Sunday I will be doing a live stream here on my channel. I've been doing it on Saturdays, and so I figured let's give Sunday the chance. It's going to be in the morning, so it's probably going to be around 11, which seemed to be a good time last time for like West Coast people as they were waking up. I know it's getting nicer out. I know things are opening back up. So I'm not sure if that changes time preferences for the live streams, like if you guys are going to be out more, maybe later in the day is better. Let me know. Definitely let me know your preferences for when I should do these live streams in terms of time. And I'm going to be talking about kind of what I'm working on like usual, answer questions, any questions you guys might have about knitting, yarn dyeing, anything in the shop. Whatever it is we kind of talk about. But so the topic is kind of going to be about charity knitting. I want to get back into it, and I thought that doing it as a live stream is great because you guys all have some great ideas based on my de-stashing blog that I did last week. So thank you guys so much, and I would absolutely love to chat about how you guys do charity knitting. And if you don't do charity knitting, I don't want this to be like you can only talk about it if you do charity knitting, because that is not the case. But I'm gonna just be planning projects, and even if you don't do it yourself and you have ideas or suggestions for me, I would love to hear it. And if you just want to talk about something else, then we'll talk about something else. So that'll be this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, so that's the first announcement. The second announcement is that I am a sponsor for the Splash Pad Party, which starts at the end of May. If you don't know what the Splash Pad Party is, it's a make-along hosted by Boston Jen from the Downseller Studio podcast. So it's a make-along that runs in June and July, and you make whatever you want. There's no guidelines about what you have to make, but you get points based on how big your project is, and then sponsor products. So if you use my yarn throughout the knit-along or make-along, you get extra points. So as a Pro Shop sponsor, I can actually make an exclusive colorway, which I have. And again, I recommend checking out that day in the life vlog because you'll get to see it. But it's also live now, or actually no, you guys are seeing this Tuesday night. It's going to be live tomorrow, Wednesday, in the shop. So that's when you can start shopping for it. I haven't named it yet as of today, which is early Monday morning. If you can tell, I have sleepy eyes. I have to go dye yarn, but first I'm trying to get this filmed. So anyway, you will get to see that in the day in the life. It's also posted, so you may have already seen it, but you get extra points if you use my exclusive colorway. So I wanted to mention that. And I'll also be doing a dye with me for that colorway as part of the kickoff weekend at the end of May. So I'll leave a link down below to Jen's website where she talks about the splash pad party. So definitely recommend you guys go check that out. And then I'll be releasing more details as it comes throughout April and May, the rest of April and May. Okay, so that splash pad party, just wanted to let you guys know that the exclusive colorway is up. Even if you don't participate in the splash pad party and you don't care about it at all, you can shop this colorway. It just will only be available through the length of the make along, and then it kind of hibernates for like a year or something like that. So if you are interested, if you like the color and you are interested in it, I definitely recommend shopping it regardless of if you actually participate in the make along. So that is the splash pad party and the live stream. The next announcement I wanted to make is that my next shop update is Friday, May 7th, so a week from Friday. May is my birthday month, and so that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it early. Again, check out Friday's day in the life, because you guys will see behind the scenes of all of this. But I'm going to be releasing what I'm calling favorite packs. So what they're going to be is, I have 3 options for them: a sock pack, a sock kit, a shawl kit, and a hat kit. And they're all going to be some of my favorite pairings. So the sock kit, you get like a sock skein with a coordinating tonal. You get a shawl kit is a 3-colored shawl kit, and the hat kit is 2 50-gram DK skeins. And so they're all, you'll see everything all up front. You'll know exactly the colorways you would be getting. All of these kits also come with a special birthday colorway that is only available through these packs. And I will not release it as a regular colorway. The only reason I could see me re-releasing it is like next year. Maybe I'll re-release like old birthday colorways or something like that. But if you want this colorway, it's exclusive to those birthday favorite packs. And they also come with mystery minis. So again, you'll see all the details, but I just wanted to put it out there that they are going to be limited quantity. They're already dyed up, and I won't be dyeing them to order. It's gonna be in stock only. And I talk about the reasons for that in the day in the life vlog. I will also talk about it in the shop update vlog on May 7th, which airs at 5 p.m. Eastern time. But they will be available at 10 a.m. that same day. So if you want to shop them before the vlog comes out, you may want to shop them before the vlog comes out, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, so that is the announcements for today. I know it was a lot and long, but I've been telling you guys that May is going to be a busy month for me and my shop, and this is why. Okay, so now we can kind of get into the Dye With Me actual theme here. I do have an announcement about the Dye With Me Club, so I will talk about that as well. But the theme for today's Dye With Me is the color purple. You guys have probably heard me talk recently about how I've been struggling with the color purple. And so I figured, why not just base a whole Dye With Me on purple, make it a great lesson for us all, and see what we can come up with the color purple. And I want to say we dye up 3 different colorways today with like batches. So there's either 3 or 4 skeins of each colorway. And I want to just give, again, a tremendous thank you to those of you in the Dye With Me Club who are making this happen. You guys really do give me the opportunity to say, I'm struggling with the color purple. Well, I have a Dye With Me coming up. Let me just use that as a great reason to play with the color purple, versus if, you know, I didn't have this club, I probably would just kind of shrug away from it forever. So anyway, you know, thank you guys so much for the support through the Dye With Me Club. It really helps me kind of batch dye these skeins. I think in older videos I was doing 1 skein in a video, and now I can really do a lot, show you guys a lot, and talk about a lot, so I'm really excited for that. If you don't know what the Dye With Me Club is, the only way you can actually receive the skeins you see today is through the Dye With Me Club. So I will not be listing any skeins you see today or in any of my Dye With Me's on the website, in my shop. It'll all be through the Dye With Me Club. So every single month on the first of the month, the club renews, and everyone who is signed up on that day will receive a skein from a previous Dye With Me vlog. So at the end of this video, I will show you guys everything available. It's usually from the most recent month, but I try to dye up a couple extras just in case more people sign up. That way I have more, but that means there might be some rollover, but I try to not roll over too many. Anyway, you will receive a previously dyed skein, so none of them are a mystery. You've seen them all before. You can, of course, email me, agirlandherwool@gmail.com with your preference. But again, it's no guarantee. You're just going to get a skein. I do my best to do requests, but sometimes I can't fulfill them all. All right, so the announcement with the Dye With Me Club is that it's currently priced at $19.50, which is, it includes shipping for the US. It's low shipping internationally. So that price though, I'm going to be increasing. It's going to go up to $22 a month. But I will say this, so if you're already in the club, if you have an active subscription, your price will not change. As long as your subscription stays active, you will stay at the current price that you are at. The price that you are paying, you will stay at for the length of your subscription for forever. However, if you cancel your subscription and then go to re-sign up, you would be signing up at the higher price. But I just want to say, if you're currently in the club, you kind of get that low rate forever as long as you want it. For those of you who haven't signed up, this price is going to go into effect on the July 1st renewal, which means that if you sign up from now through June 1st, you will get that same $19.50 low rate. Starting on June 2nd, that's when, if you sign up on June 2nd, you'll start at that higher price. So I just wanted to put it out there now, so you have a little over a month to still sign up at that lower rate. I wanted to give full warning. I will announce this in all of the Dye With Me vlogs up until then, so you have plenty of time to sign up. If you sign up now through May 1st, you'll start with the May 1st renewal, and if you sign up from May 2nd to June 1st, again, you'll still get that lower rate, but you'll be signed up for the June renewal. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. The price is increasing because as the club kind of grows, it means that I'm no longer kind of sending off skeins that I would have been dyeing anyway. Again, I'm able to do more, and by bringing in kind of more memberships into the club and by increasing the price, it will continue to allow me to dye more batches, dye more colorways like this, so doing like 3 colors in a vlog versus 1, and then even hopefully potentially bringing in like unique bases, like so we can start dyeing on non-superwash bases and things like that. So again, it's still a really good deal. $22 for a hand-dyed skein of yarn, including shipping, is still a great deal. So I hope you guys still continue signing up and enjoy the club. And again, if you have questions, let me know at any time. All right, so that was a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of announcements. And so let's get into the actual Dye With Me. Again, I dyed up 3 different colors, all featuring the color purple, and we'll talk about them at the end. Here we go to the dye pots, and then make sure you come back to see what they look like and talk more about them. All right, so for this first game, we're finally here. For this first batch, I have 3 skeins in the pot here, kind of all piled up, and which helps just kind of get the dyes on there more randomly, because I can kind of spray them in piles like they are, and then it hits various parts of the skein versus having like a block of purple. I think I go back and kind of change the color a little bit, try to get a little bit more gray in there. So you will start to see me move these around, but the idea of what I'm trying to go for is more of a gray purple with this first skein. So not a bright intense purple, but just kind of getting a nice gray lighter purple. So I decided to kind of move things around a little bit, blend it all in just to make sure it doesn't get too dark and stays pretty light. So what you just saw was, as I sprayed more dye on, I kind of pressed it in and blended it in a little bit more. Again, I didn't want like these dark purple sections. I really like how that lighter purple parts work. So kind of before the dye sets, kind of pressed it around, and again it just kind of blends it in a little bit, still leaving some white, but again that like light gray purple. It's a purple I've really been trying to go for, is like a lighter purple versus like a deeper purple. So anyway, that's what I was going for there. So at this point, I'm happy with the purple, and so I'm just moving it around. I tested a little bit of green, so I'm adding like a little light sage gray green. Again, I blended it up in a bottle. Maybe I didn't mention that with the purple, but that was also blended up in a bottle. So I took some actual purple dye and blended it with some other like gray, just to kind of make it that gray purple. But I think I decided to move it around, noticed that I needed a bit more purple, and then I'll kind of come back here with the green in a little bit. So I moved it around, kept adding more of the green to it, and what I was thinking about was how the purple and the green are the same tone, meaning that they kind of blend in really well together, but they won't really show much like depth or dimension. Like the skein won't really pop necessarily. They're equal tone. So if you think about like taking a black and white photo, they would show up the same. And so what I did here was I added some gray to it and blended it in, again, like kind of a dark gray that will just like add a different tone to it. So add some kind of texture to it. And then I also speckled a dark green over it as well. Again, I didn't want to bring the purple into it. I didn't want to make it a bright purple, and without blending it in a bottle, that's kind of what I have. And so I figured the better option was like that dark green. It won't necessarily like pop, but like you'll see some darker sections to the skein. And I didn't go nuts with it. Again, these skeins are really piled up, so it won't overtake the skein, but just like add a little bit here and there. So that will do it for kind of purple skein number 1 here. So for skein 2, again, I have 3 skeins in here, kind of piled up, again, just to kind of add to the randomness to it. That's how I kind of like to dye in general. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create my own purple. So instead of using my purple dyes that have not necessarily been doing well, in my opinion, with me, I just wanted to mix up my own purple. So starting with some red, starting with some blue dyes in a bottle. You saw with kind of this first one, it came out very red. So I did equal parts of a red that I love and a blue, like a lighter blue, not really like a navy blue, but a brighter blue, and it just didn't compete with it. So went back in and added a lot more blue, and you can see there it's kind of starting to get to purple, but it's still really much a red. So decided to add just a bit more blue to it, and then that time I get it just right. So let's see what it looks like. So you do see that the purple that I ended up kind of spraying all across there, is still a reddish purple. You can kind of see it in that bottom section really. It's got a red tone to it. So the blue still didn't completely overtake it, but definitely turned it into a purple. Definitely have a purple here, and kind of just sprayed it randomly, kind of blended a little bit of it, but really kind of just sprayed it along top and let the purple kind of bleed out how it will. So we're gonna just kind of keep with that color as our base and go from there. And I do love this purple. It's not like an in-your-face purple. I love that reddish tone to it, and it is something good for me to think about is that maybe the dyes that I have are maybe like too bright or too blue or something, but I really like this reddish purple, not like crazy in your face, but a nice purple tone. So at this point I wanted to layer kind of more in. These are darker purple, so I wanted to still leave room to layer in other colors. So what I kind of did was, again, go with like that darker feeling of it. So that first color I speckled on, it looks black probably, but it's really a dark navy blue. And the blue really will kind of show through later. So I speckled that, and then I'm coming in with red. And I also did a brighter blue too that you'll see in the finished skein as well. What I thought would be nice about this, there you can kind of see the blue starting to show through more, both from that navy and the darker one. But what I thought would be nice is to use blue and reds that I use to make the purple and just kind of decompose it a little bit. So you'll get that purple, but then because you'll also get the pieces that went into it, that would be kind of nice matching tones for the skein. Again, bringing kind of multicolored into it. So this skein will have more colors in it than the first one did, but they're all related because they all again had that original kind of dyes combined. You also see there's still a lot of white left, so even though I've added a lot of those darker tones, there's so much yarn that you still do get the lighter sections in there as well. So you will see the reds come through, you will see the brighter blues come through at the end, but again, just kind of speckling the same colors throughout the skein. then I wanted to take the white out, and I actually came in with a bit of a gold, so I made it a gold color, and I'm just spraying that kind of all over to help blend in the different colors. When you see the final skeins, it doesn't show through that much, but you get like these bits of a bright gold, and it just really does add a little bit of pop to the skein. So it might not look super nice in this pile of colored water here, but it does turn out pretty nice. That will do it with skein 2. So now heading into skein number 3. I'm zoomed in very close here, but the skeins are kind of more spread out, so they're not in those piles, and I'm doing things a little bit differently. So instead of having purple as the first layer and the base, I'm starting with like a peach color. It shows very orange at first, but it kind of tones down into like a really nice kind of light peach neutral color, and I'll also come in with the some yellow and neutrals as well. I thought it would be just a nice way to take the white out of the skein and then kind of go from there on purple. You can see I don't let the dyes set too much before I start moving it around, and that's because I really don't want it to kind of have those dark sections. I wanted this to be a really light layer, so that's how I kind of control that. Before the dye can really set into the skein, I move it around so that it hits, kind of falls into the water and kind of moves throughout the skein. Now that the base layer is done, I've piled them up kind of what you guys are used to seeing, and this is where we're going to start adding the purple. I end up just swirling it on top. Again, I wanted the purple to kind of stay dark, but then also kind of bleed out so you get different layers of it, and you can kind of see it in that top one, how you get the dark and then like the dye kind of bled down. That'll just create a nice like blending, not, you know, dark purple and then light orange yellow in other sections. I ended up I did blend this color that I'm applying on top in a bottle. It started with a purple dye, and then I added more colors to it to darken it, make it really dark. That way you get the dark to the light. That second bottle you saw me spray is more of like a blue purple. So I'm just going to move the skeins around a little bit, add some more of that like lighter blue purple, and then top off the rest of what I had of the dark purple, and then call it a day for dyeing. Alright, so it was definitely an interesting dye with me. I think my thought processes during it are slightly different than where they are now. So it'll be interesting to show these to you guys and talk about them. So again, I've been struggling dyeing with purple, and I don't know if it's the purple dyes that I have, which is why you guys saw me blending up and making my own purples, or if it's just I'm not clashing with the color purple right now, or I am clashing with the color purple right now. Like, we're just not meshing, and that's okay. If purple is not in my place right now, purple is not in my place right now. So anyway, the first skein that we did, I went for kind of that gray purple look. And I'll show you guys the finished skein and why I'm laughing about it, and how this didn't occur to me at all while I was dyeing, because I think it dried differently than it looked in the pan while I was dyeing it, but we'll talk about that in a second. So here's the first colorway. It's Fairy Shadow, guys. I dyed up Fairy Shadow without meaning to. It's so funny because it's really not Fairy Shadow. I did not use the same dyes in Fairy Shadow, but it just came out so it was the same as it. So I found that really funny. So I dyed this up on Sock, and the middle one here is DK and BFL. So this one got dyed up kind of all across the board. Again, this isn't Fairy Shadow. If I had a skein of it, I'd hold it up to kind of show what was different about it, but it looks so similar to it. And it's so funny because I dyed this one up first and I was like, oh, I'm done, I love this, this is great. And I kind of took the pressure off for the next two skeins to like kind of come up with the purple colorway, and now I'm like, this isn't a new colorway, this is Fairy Shadow. But let me kind of show you guys what's different about it from Fairy Shadow, and also talk about where I think this one went wrong with what I was planning to do. So I was really hoping for like a gray, a real true like gray purple, like not so much of a bright purple, really just the gray aspect of it. And when I was looking at it before, I had like a great section to show. Okay, so if we, this is the sock skein. So if we look at the top here, it's a pretty bright purple, and I really wasn't going for that. I mean, it's not a neon purple, but it's purple, it's not so much gray. If you look at this section in here, and I know it's probably not showing up the best, but you really get really like a gray purple. So kind of like comparing them with those two sections there, that top is like very much purple, and then here it's like that gray that just has the light of purple on it, and that's really like what I was going for. I didn't want these darker gray purple sections, and I think that I mean, I'm not like upset about the darker gray sections. I'm just saying that's where it kind of dried. And I think, like, I talk about this a lot, but purple darkens a lot as it sets. Some colors like kind of disappear. Purple definitely brightens, and so even probably after I took it off the heat and it was cooling, like the purple probably continued to deepen off of where it was when I was dyeing. But I really wanted more like sections like this kind of really gray purple versus this like dark purple in there. So what else did we do with the skein? So I added the gray green in there, which I actually really like and I wish I had done more of. So that's one difference from Fairy Shadow. Fairy Shadow doesn't have like this light green in it. It just has the speckles of green on it. So Fairy Shadow in and of itself is a speckled skein. I don't mix bottles for it. I just speckle colors. And so I really love like that light sage green, and I do wish that I had, I don't know if I wish I had done more. I think if the purple, so I think I talk about this in the video of it in and of itself, but if you look here at that section I was showing you, that light purple and the light green, they're the same tone. So if you were to take a black and white photo of like this section of the skein, I don't think you would see a difference. And so that's kind of why I brought in the gray speckles and the green speckles, which you see unfortunately in the knot. I didn't tie this up so well, but we speckled it with the dark gray and the dark green, and I think that that is nice. Like if you look at the skein, you kind of get those darker sections of it, and again, if you were to knit with it, it would kind of just like bring out the skein a little bit more, because the gray green and the gray purple, like this is such a good spot to show it. Right, like the gray green here, or here, the where was it? Here. The gray purple here and the gray green here are really equal tone, like they don't really stand out from each other. So that's the purple that I thought I was kind of gonna get everywhere, but I did get the darker bits. So kind of talking about kind of getting those different levels of tones, I think that's one thing that did work out nicely for this skein. It just wasn't necessarily the purple that I was going for, which is fine. Sometimes you end up with different things that work out so great. So I don't mean to like put down the skein. I'm just talking about really what was different than I thought it was going to be. But overall, I mean, Fairy Shadow is one of my favorite colors in the shop. I do really love how this skein came out. I think it's a really pretty color. If you're not a huge like purple fan, again, it's not like a bright purple. I'm just saying a brighter purple in context to like that gray purple that I really wanted. Again, it's a really springy, pretty color. You get a lot of the speckles here in the BFL skein. So you see a lot of like the dark green and the dark gray in there. So yeah, it worked out really well. Again, just different than I thought it was in the pan, and of course different than I realized when I was doing it. So that is the first one we did. So for the second skein, instead of using a purple dye that I had, and for that one I used a purple dye, but I blended it with like gray. These ones I made the purple myself using red and blue, and so you saw me kind of testing it. So it came out like, I tried at first like equal parts blue and red, and the blue just didn't show up, so I added more and more and more until I got a purple that I liked. But it was still a very like reddish purple. So then we kind of went with the red theme of it. So let me hold it up and show you guys how it came out. Very different than the last skein. So a really pretty skein. This might be my favorite out of the three, but we'll see. I like the third one too. Okay, so and I have 2 skeins on sock and 1 skein on DK for this one. So let me just hold one up. So again, we mixed the purple together ourselves, and you can see the purple throughout the skein, but it's, I would say, if I know it's always hard to see on camera, but if I looked at this skein and I had to say what's one color that this was, I would probably still say purple, but you do get like the bright red and you do get the blue sections, which I thought was really a cool thing to do. So I took the colors that I had blended, and then I also used the separate components of it as well. So I knew it would kind of like match because it blended them together, so it would bring out both colors. And then of course brought in just some darker blues to just again add that texture to it. And I think it came out really cool. And then of course we added the gold as well, which I thought was really fun to just like add a little bit of interest, and like it totally, because that one was in the knot, it really does like match with it. So in here you kind of just get that little touch of something a little bit brighter, which I think will just be a nice little surprise as you work with it, to just get that little bright gold in there. I don't think this one is going to show up so well. So again, I didn't go nuts with the gold, but you just get bits of it every once in a while, which again just looks really nice. I think this is what I just showed you guys. So a really fun skein. Again, I think it was nice to just blend up my own purple. Maybe it's my purple dyes that I'm just not meshing with right now. I think this worked out really well. This skein I think would go make a really great pair of socks, of course, if you like variegated socks. But I also think that if you have a stash, then you could probably find good colors to work this into for like a fade, because it is so many different colors, but they still all go together. So I think it would blend well into another skein versus like being this high contrast skein. So really fun color. So yeah, so again, just kind of bringing in the different blues to kind of give it that dimension, and just trusting my eye with that gold to just bring out a little bit of color. So that is color 2. So color 1, I did really like that gray purple look. Color 2, I had that like reddish purple look. And so what I decided to do with color number 3 was, instead of making purple the base, I decided to give a different base and then make purple the highlight for it. So I dyed up 4 skeins of this, so I'm gonna hold them all up. I think it's 2 sock and 2 DK. So you can see this color here. So this one I wouldn't necessarily, like, if I had to pick one color, would I describe this as a purple? Probably not, but there's plenty of purple in there, and it's probably a combination that I wouldn't normally like go to, and so I had a lot of fun really playing with this. So again, let me hold up one skein so I don't drop everything. So we did that light peachy yellow base. Again, I just wanted to take the white out of it and not have any white left over. And that's another thing with color one. I said we added gray to make the white, but I did think I would get some more white out of that skein. But anyway, and then I had blended up a purple in a bottle again. So I tried to deepen it. So I did take one of my purple dyes for this one, but then I added colors to kind of make it like a deep, like almost like blackberry color, you know, like a super dark color. So that's the purple that we primarily used. But the way I applied it was I laid the skein in like a swirl and just kind of sprayed it. It looked like a cinnamon roll. I probably talk about that in the overtone, or in the overtone. What is that? What does that word even mean? The voiceover. And what it did was it just made it so you get like these dark sections, but then it also kind of like lightened, you know, some lighter purple sections too. So it kind of like opened up a little bit. I also added in a second bottle that was primarily blue, or I added blue in the bottle, but it was supposed to still be like a purple, a light purple, but the blue did kind of show up more than the purple did. So in one bottle I kind of made a dark purple, and then in another bottle I tried to make a light purple, but again it came out very blue, which actually looks really nice. So you get kind of like a brighter blue along with that purple. So it's a very, you know, kind of like a lot of skeins, like a sunset-y kind of look, which I actually really do love this combination. So again, here it is. So those are the skeins we dyed today. If you have any questions about them, you are more than welcome to ask them and let me know. But I am really going to quickly go through the full set of what you guys have as your options for the Dye With Me Club. Okay, so we had 2 vlogs this month, so it's all the skeins you just saw. So any of the 3 purple skeins, which I will run through again just really quickly so you see the bases. Everything that you are choosing from this month is an 100-gram skein, so everyone will receive an 100-gram skein. So in the first vlog, which was the last one we did, was the blind experiment. So we had the cool skein that we did. So this is, there are 3 skeins here, all on my sock base. So your choice is one of these on my sock base. So if you email me your request at agirlandherwool@gmail.com, please just do like Dye With Me or something about Dye With Me in the subject line. That will help me find them. And then I have the other color that we did on sock or DK. So this was the first skein we actually did in that vlog. So if you haven't checked out the blind experiment video, definitely go back and check it out. Those are the 2 colors that we dyed up in that video. And then we have the ones from today. So again, the first color that we did, I have on sock, DK, and BFL sock. And then the second skein is just on sock or DK. And then the third one is on sock and DK also. Choose to get more than one subscription into the club. So if you want 2 skeins, you can get 2 memberships, and then that way you can get 2 things. Or if you want 2 of something, you know, if you want all 3 skeins or whatever, you can certainly do that too. But these are the 5 skeins that are your choices this month, and I think they're really fun colorways. I think we've had a lot of fun experimentation this month with the blind experiment, and then using the color purple in all different ways. I think we came up with some really cool colorways I'm really proud of kind of my dyeing and how it's evolved over the last few years. So I hope you guys are too. So that will do it for this dye with me. I know it was long because of all the announcements that I had. So again, if you have any questions, let me know, but I hope you guys hang around with A Girl and Her Wool this May, because it's going to be really fun celebrating both my birthday as well as my shop's birthday. I will be back on Friday with another day with that day in the life that will have a lot of information for you guys as well. I don't talk about it like this. I show you guys the items. So anyway, make sure you check that out, and I will talk to you then. Bye.